Hi travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and today is February, what date? I don't even know. Y'all know I don't know nothing about dates and times, so I don't know why y'all be picking on me about that. It is February 9th, and I'm going to be coming to you right now with an open reading for this full moon eclipse period. Now, the eclipse is going to be occurring in the sign of Aquarius. We also have Mercury having moved into Aquarius, I think, yesterday. And to me, the way I'm reading this particular transit is that there is going to be, perhaps because Aquarius rules groups, friendships, networks, teams, associations, humanitarian organizations, any of you who have, and the nodes of the moon and the eclipses all deal with karma, then this is kind of like the precursor of message, a news coming in that surrounds those particular areas with the groups, the networks, the teams. You can go over to the website if you've joined the membership and create your own birth chart, and that will tell you, you want to know where Mercury falls in your chart and what house Aquarius falls in. Actually, that's not even going to work, so don't even worry about it. For those of you who have the membership, I had a video up over on the in the astrology gallery that was trying to explain to you how we're going to be using the charts. That I want to apologize because that video was such crap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down this weekend and I'm going to do it old school with pen and paper and show you exactly how we're going to be using the chart and what information that you're going to need in order to follow along. Okay, so it's not going to be astrology like you're used to. This is just a quick and shortened kind of way to kind of pinpoint when things may be occurring for you, the timing, and perhaps in what area of life that you might be affected. Okay, we are going to be coming up on another Mercury retrograde in, I think, at the end of April. I'm about sick of Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to be posting another transit watch up over on the site. That is for the paying members. So just know that. And let's see. I have the Mucha Tarot. So this is going to be a general reading. No specific sign. We're going to try to see what, if anything, we can see surrounding this full moon eclipses. Now, as we know, or maybe you don't know, full moons are about endings and completions, okay? So this is a time, basically, when you might want to be finishing up something, okay? And new moons are all about new beginnings. So the thing about eclipses, though, is that they conceal. They never reveal, okay? So I always suggest to people, here we are just a few days away. If you can hold off on making a judgment call or some big decision, if you can hold off 3 days before and 3 days after the eclipse, you know, it might save you some grief, because typically you're not going to be able to see what you need to see about the situation or the person, okay? So there's a whole bunch of stuff, well, over on the website for the paying members. There's a Mercury retrograde survival guide. There's an eclipse survival guide. There's the transit watches. There's the charts. The individual readings for February 2017 are there in the tarot gallery. And I've already posted a few, a few articles up, some metaphysical articles and some astrology articles. The full moon watch report is up. So I've got a, I've got an ebook that I'm going to be posting here in a little bit. But that's only for members who've made the membership. So if you want to check out the membership, go over to the website, go to the tab that says join here today, and you're going to see the 3 membership options that I'm offering. Select what you want or don't. Okay? So I was trying to shuffle. I have the Mucha Tarot here with me today, and you see the cards are really shuffling themselves. I also have the Sabila cards, 2 different decks. I won't know which one I'm going to be using. It's going to depend on what the cards are trying to say to me. I have the angel answer cards. And for those of you who are new and just subscribed, thank you for joining. For the diehard subscribers for sticking with me, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And all the support you guys have been giving me with my new venture. So what I do for those of you who are new is at the end of the reading, before I close it out, I will pull an angel answer card so that if there was anything, a question that you had that was not answered by the spread, perhaps the angel answer card will give you an answer or point you in the direction in which you either should go or should not go, or perhaps even just provide you with a little bit of solace and comfort, okay? Now, as you can see, these cards just kind of flew out. I don't use these cards a lot. I really like this deck, but they tend to get tired real quick. You do about 3 readings with them, and then they just like quit talking. I was talking to somebody else who uses this deck, and they said the same thing. They're like, they just get tired real quick. So that's kind of a weird thing. What has flown out is the Knight of Swords. There's our Mercury card. This rules Gemini. He rules neighborhoods and communities, okay? And he is not playing. But, you know, normally when I see this card, he presents as something coming in very fast and very fierce. However, today he is looking rather tired and despondent. So I'm going to take that to mean that there's going to be, around this eclipse, there may be some kind of delay or something that, again, that you don't see. You see, he's looking down. I don't know if you can see that. This camera is so crappy, y'all. One of these days. He's looking down. I don't know why this don't want to focus. Maybe it's the card. He's looking down at the horse, and the horse is looking back at him. They're not face forward, and they're not charging for it. It's as if they are kind of, pause is not even the right word. It's more of a, I don't right now. I'm not picking up the word. I'm not being given the word that I need to use. So I'll try to come back to that. Maybe it'll come to me. Now, as you saw, the second card flew out. Here we have the Tower. Okay, let me put another good shuffle on this, and then we're going to lay the 9 cards and get started with the reading. Now, you know, many people see the Tower and they automatically freak out. Well, the truth of the matter is the Tower represents the planet of Uranus. He represents the energy of Uranus. Uranus is known as the Great Awakener. Uranus comes in to tear down stuff and build up new things, okay? He helps you to tear down the old, which may no longer be working for you, and raises it to the ground to give you an opportunity to rebuild something. You see that structure? People are jumping out, you know, okay? And so sometimes this can play out something as simple as, because Mercury and Gemini, they rule travel, sales, negotiations. Sometimes these 2 cards together, the energy of Mercury with the Tower, can represent bad weather. And sometimes this can simply be something as simple as you've been hearing a knock in your car and you've been kind of putting it off, and then suddenly you get ready to go to the store and the damn car breaks down, okay? But that's because you haven't been, you know, you've been lackadaisical in making sure that the foundation of your vehicle was solid. So it's not always something that's major and completely shocking and out of the blue. It just kind of depends on what you got going on in your life. Now, I'm going to lay the rest of these cards and see what the story is here. Well, here we have a Page of Pentacles. I have a reversed 8 of Swords. And those of you who've been with me know that I don't read reverse cards. So in a minute, I'm going to have to turn that around because the reverse cards do not speak to me. But because it presented itself reverse, that it tells me something. Okay. Here I have, I think this is the Devil. Wow. And then the Magician. Wow. So I have so far 1, 2, 3 major arcana. the 10 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, and the Death card. Well, ain't this something? Underneath the deck, I have the 9 of Coins. Let me see if I can pull the blinds down so that we don't have such a glare on these cards. 1 second, please. And maybe if I turn a light on, get a backlight. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new and or don't have a whole lot of experience with the tarot, it's broken into 2 separate distinct groups, the deck. What we have, the first group, are 22 cards. They're numbered from 0 to 21. It's still 22 cards, but the 0 card's not counted. Those are known as the major arcana cards. And the major arcana cards are our life lessons and spiritual lessons. This is the higher meaning or the higher purpose, okay? The mundane cards, the cards that represent life on the mundane level, are what are known as the pip cards. The pip cards are going to be definitely our court cards, which are our knights, our pages, our kings, and our queens. But they also represent cards like the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, and the 7 of Swords. Can you see that? I think these cards they're beautiful, but they don't film very well. And of course, over here we have this 9 of Pentacles. So this is our overall energy of the spread. Now, the cards are telling me a story already. The one other thing I need to let you know is that I have 4 major arcana cards here. I have the Tower, the Devil, the Magician, and the Death card. To me alone, the Tower with the Devil is talking about the karmic cycle. So as I was saying at the beginning of the video, all eclipses deal with a cycle of karma. Now, all during 2016, we had the eclipses run along the Pisces Virgo axis. For all of 2017, the eclipses will be running along the Aquarius Leo axis. But even though they're running along the Aquarius Leo axis for 2017, eclipses always go back over points from the previous year. Now, the thing, and they also, it's like a string of pearls in time. This eclipse, the first eclipse, is going to harken back all the way to 1999 or 2000, 98 between 2000, okay? So for those of you who are old enough to have been doing whatever it was you were doing during that time, this could be old people, old faces returning back to you, old situations coming back to you, old groups of people, maybe running into people. There's going to be some kind of karmic credit and some kind of karmic debt associated with this, okay? Eclipses are very, very important, and they are designed to change your life and move you in a new direction. That's what eclipses are for. So, right off the bat, in the center, I have the Devil card. And I feel that for some of you, now remember, this is a general reading, so these messages are not going to apply to everyone. So please take what you can and disregard what you cannot. The Devil represents the material plane, okay? He is representative of Capricorn, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Now, Saturn is the Lord of Karma and the Father of Time. So there you have the theme of the eclipses. It's about strung out like a pearl's a timeline, and it is about karma. The Devil rules, because he represents the physical world, we're talking about money, food, drink, sex, those things that we enjoy doing, but also those things we enjoy doing that we know we should not do, okay? And that's the energy of the Devil. Now, for some of you, I honestly feel that you are going to be receiving a message from someone from your past. And you're going to get an opportunity around this eclipse. Now, listen, people say, oh, the eclipse comes, and if it falls on an important point in your chart, people think things are going to change right away. That's not the way it works. It may take until the following year, 2018, for you to work out whatever the situation is, okay? So don't assume. Sometimes you will get news right in. And if you get news on the day of the eclipse or a few days after, please pay attention to it. But don't make any judgment calls or decisions based on it if you can help it, okay? This is about something coming. For some of you, this could be about, like I said, your neighborhoods and your communities. For others of you, this could be people coming back in, groups coming back in, associations, people you haven't seen in years. There's a karmic tie here, but it's coming in so that the situation can transform itself. So this is literally about being able to clear the karma with this group or this person or surrounding the situation. Okay? That's really what I'm picking up from this. Now, I was explaining about the major arcana. I have 4 of them. And the major arcana take more weight than anything else. Now, the most compelling line in this reading for me is the one, the way the cards are read is past, present, and future. Past, present, and future with the interplay of the cards. And the most compelling storyline that is coming out of this reading is the one at the present. Now, the tarot has no timing. Okay, there's no exact timing. If I could give you exact timing, all right, I could make a damn mint. So this is really based upon what's going on in your life, who it entails, who it involves, you know, and where you are on the timeline of your karmic scale. Okay. Right down the center, I have the Tower, the Devil, and then the Seven of Swords. Now, because the Devil represents Saturn, Saturn is not only the Lord of Karma and the Father of Time. Saturn and Capricorn are all about building structures, having stability, things that will stand the test of time. Well, over the top of that sits Uranus, who comes to tear some shit down for you. This is very, very compelling to me. And at the base is this Seven of Swords. So I feel that for some of you, there may be a shakeup that really kind of tears down your stability in whatever manner that means for you due to some type of deception. Now, again, the thing about eclipses is that they never ever reveal, they always conceal. But then sometimes things become very, very clear to you quite suddenly. This is also the energy of the Tower. As I said, he's known as the Great Awakener. So the idea of the lightning hitting the top of this building and knocking the crown off can be a sudden revelation, a sudden epiphany, an aha, a eureka moment. I do sense that some of you may, now look, again, because this is the Tower, this could simply be something in the manner where maybe you just purchased a house and you find out suddenly that the house, the foundation, literally the foundation of the house itself there's something wrong with it, okay? But you didn't know about that. They didn't disclose that to you, okay? So there's that deception there, all right? Somebody getting away with something in broad daylight. This is also the energy of the Page of Coins and the Magician and the Knight of Swords. You see, the Page of Coins is a student. This is somebody who does his research, okay? And when you can do your research, that gives you a lot of more tools to operate when you're trying to do things, okay? And then you know what to say, what not to say, and what you hear and, you know, that kind of makes sense and what you hear that don't make sense, okay? Because the swords are about communications, thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and ideas. For some of you, I'm going to say that whatever you thought had ended or was dead and gone comes back. It comes back. But it's going to come back because you're going to be given an opportunity to clear the karma. This could be a person. And really the way this Eight of Swords is reading is that whenever the Eight of Swords presents itself upside down, you see, right side up, this is about somebody who feels that they don't have all of the information they need to make a decision. So you can feel trapped and stuck. But this is a mental thing because these are swords. This could also be about someone communicating with you in a shady manner. You're not quite exactly sure what they mean or, how you're supposed to take it, but it's upside down. So that tells me the swords are now coming out of the ground. You see, those swords are at rest. So that means I don't even know what to think about this situation. But now that it's upside down, that it is reversed, those swords are falling out. Okay. And this woman now, okay, everything's been turned upside down on its head. And I do feel that for some of you, you did receive some kind of message or and I read the nights as events, that something either happened or you got some kind of message that you really just was like, I don't even know what the hell just happened here. Okay. And this has been a real struggle for you. Now, for some of you, this could be around a work endeavor or a work project that has come through. Traditionally, the wands are known to be equated with work. I kind of look at the wands like an emotional component because the wands represent your fighting spirit, your ambition, your desire. Man, I'm not going to take that crap from you, or you can't tell me I can't do that. I'm fixing to go out here and show you I'm going to do that. And this is about, marshaling all of that Mars energy, that fighting spirit that you have, and getting in there and doing something. And I think that for some of you, you have just been kind of, even if there's been confusion surrounding messages coming in or some event that has come through, you've still been out there doing that work, and it's been a real struggle for you. So because this is a 10, okay, this tells me that for some of you, this is already passed. For others of you, this is going to be coming up. But the 10 is a transition card. The 10 is a transition card. And I honestly feel for some of you, what this row here is telling me, the 10 of Wands with the 7 of Swords with the Death card. Again, it's the same message that I'm getting down the center. You think or you feel that either you can't go on anymore, okay? Or you think you're like, hey man, this shit, I'm so glad it's done, it's over with. But it is not. There is something that you don't know that has not come about yet. There's that 7 of Swords. And this guy has, he's got 5 swords in his hands. So a lot of times when I see this card, I'm looking at, there may have been fights, miscommunications, people not being on the same page mentally in terms of which direction they're wanting to go or what it is they're supposed to be doing. And 5s represent a conflict, but there's 2 swords left on actually he's got one in his scabbard there, and then one's lying on the ground. So to me, this can sometimes indicate a decision that has caused a lot of conflict and strife, okay? But it's not finished. It's not complete because the 2 swords say, again, there's a choice to be made. And it's going to come down to the way that you think or you communicate about this particular situation. Here is the Death card. It finally comes in to say to you, this is going to have to end. Now, for some of you, I do feel here with the Page of Pentacles and the Devil card that this may be, maybe you've been doing some research on something, or maybe you've decided to go back to school. Why are you doing that? You're doing that so that you can get a stronger, better foundation. This is what the Devil card, so you can go out and get that bigger house and that better car and have better vacations. And you've really been busting your butt for that with this 10 of Wands, okay? At the same time, this speaks to another message. And because this is a page, and there's a difference, okay? This to me is going to be a brand new message coming in for some of you. One that will perhaps entail someone returning back from your past. Or again, the message is there's going to be a situation that's going to come back. However that means for you. I don't know your personal story. Okay. This Eight of Wands, Eight of Swords reversed with the Devil card. For some of you, you're going to be like, you know what? I got away from that situation, but here comes the devil to say, guess what? You haven't, because the devil represents limitations, restrictions. This could be being chained to a person or a situation that you cannot get out of. Okay. You see, the swords represent your thoughts. You think you got away with something, or somebody may think they have gotten away with something, but guess what? The devil says, okay. This ain't over yet. And that's really, and here comes the Magician card. And this is a card that kind of stands out because I have the Magician with the devil. And on this row, the Magician tells me, you know, I don't even know what he's trying to tell me. Because the Magician is someone, in its most positive aspect, he's a 1. So again, this tells me this is a beginning. You see, it's like you try to start something, but it jumps all the way up to a 10 of Wands. So whatever this thing is, it's going to be a struggle for you in some way, shape, or form. And perhaps the best way to mitigate whatever this is to really be cautious about the way you think. Because the Magician says, as above, so below. Now, sometimes I have seen this combination of the devil with the Magician to mean that there's somebody in your group, in your environment that you're involved with, okay, that's doing some shit that they shouldn't be doing. Because in his negative, the Magician is someone who does tricks, or who puts on a performance for people, who's got you looking over here when he's really doing something over there. Okay, so he can be a very, very shadowy individual. He's attached to the devil. And he's attached to the Death card. Now, for some of you, this could be that whatever this Page of Coins is telling me, that something's going to come in for you. You see, this could be a new financial endeavor, but the coins are just not about finances. The coins are about the doing of something. It represents, again, the physical plane, the doing of something. It's right here, Page, the devil, and the wands. This tells me that there's something in the physical world that you may have to do, okay? Some type of stabilization that a lot of you may be struggling with. Okay, and this card is not just always about struggles or burden. This card can also be about its success. You know, I really have put up with a lot of shit, and I've gone through a lot, but I come through it. But at the same time, it's also saying that this situation is not done. The Death card is trying to come in to change it, but it's not done. And I do feel that I can't even explain it. You see, he's looking over at the devil. He's running away. This is like you trying to run away, somebody trying to run away from this change. They're trying to fool death, but you can't. Nobody escapes death. Okay, nobody. And death only speaks to a transformation of a situation. It's the end of one cycle. It's the end of one situation and the beginning of something new. It's an energy shift. That's what this is. And I feel that for some of you, you're going to be able to do that. The Magician says, on one hand, yeah, you know, I got everything that I need to make this situation to do and to go ahead and complete this crap. That's what that says. Okay. But yet, at the same time, if this is someone in their negative because they're attached to the devil energy, if this is someone in their negative Magician, see, the question is, the Magician is so as above, so below. So this is really about being very, very consciously aware of your thought patterns. What subtext is going on? What negative? Because the devil can represent self-defeat. Okay, he can represent fears, self-defeat. That's what Saturn does. Saturn is, so it will present itself sometimes as worry and anxiety. Okay, and so sometimes we're so afraid of a change coming in or a situation that happens that we end up doing something that we think is going to protect us, but it ends up fucking us up worse. Excuse my language. That's the energy of self-defeat. So if this is not another person working kind of in a shadowy, then this could be speaking about you yourself being your own worst enemy. Okay? we can see that the energy, the overall energy of the Nine of Coins. The Nine of Coins is simply about the energy of of doing the work so that you can get the gains. The Nine of Coins says, you know what? I have sacrificed a lot. I've done a lot. And I got to this position or in this place by the sweat of my brow. But at the same time, if you find yourself in a negative place, guess what? You did that by the sweat of your brow. Okay? Now, I want to pull cards of on this. I don't even know where to damn start. To be honest with you, this is quite the interesting spread. I'm going to start with the Magician card. I want to know what the Magician says here. Now, I don't see, you know, what's not here? There are no cups. There are no cups. Although the Magician has a cup on his table. And so I'm going to look at the tools that the Magician has. And I'm going to say that really this is going to be for many people in many different areas. That's what eclipses do. Remember, this is designed to move you to another place. So even though you may not like, or you may feel that it is somebody else's fault, it is really the way you're going to be able to think about this to formulate whatever it is that you need to do. That's why I say, if something crops up around this eclipse, please try to wait if you can. We cannot wait in life, in real life, just because the planets are doing something weird. So if you have to make some type of decision, try to find some kind of counsel if you can. Somebody, an objective set of eyes who is not involved within the situation. And even still, give what they say to you some weight and some thought, okay? Before you move. This Magician. And he also represents Mercury, okay? This is Moon in Aquarius. So this is telling me that this is about the eclipse. That Moon in Aquarius, divorce your emotions from whatever is happening. Try to, if you can control your thoughts, you can control your emotions. Okay? Remember, as above, so below. What you think can manifest in the real world. And when I see this card, particularly with the Devil, this tells me that this is a very, very strong time of manifestation. Okay? And remember, it's karmic. The Devil and the Death card. And karma it is only accrued through the choices. Even if it's a past life karma, karmic situation that you have with someone. Just know that that situation, even past life, was simply based on choices that you made. That is how karma is played out. It is through, it's not something that you are born with. It is through your choices that you create your karma. That's what we do with, I do with Akashic Records reading and etheric cord cutting sessions. We look at the karmic consequences of choices and how that affects you in your life. And a lot of times we make bad decisions and we don't even want to own up to it. You know? Why? Because our ego, and this is what the Devil can represent, our ego, okay, doesn't want us to see that. And that's how it keeps us trapped in certain situations or causes us to make a series of bad choices. So now let's look at this Devil. This is something else. I've never seen the Muja speak to me in this manner. Each deck has a different language and a different voice in which they speak. And I've always found this, the language in which this deck speaks in a very light, kind of a breezy kind of a way. But today, the Muja is letting me know it still has that undertone of light breezy. So I don't want any of you to be frightened. Don't be frightened. Forewarned is forearmed. Okay? I only see one coins card here. And there's a profusion of swords. So this is communication, thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and ideas. And there is change here. And for some of you, it's going to come rapidly. But see, even the woman in, look, let me show you something. I want to show you something. Her eyes are blindfolded. Okay, so this is either someone pulling the wool over your eyes or you yourself fooling yourself. That's that self-sabotage, that devil. Now this guy is holding up, but his eyes are closed. The devil, her eyes are closed. The Nine of Wands, her eyes are closed. He's given the side eye. He's distracted. He's looking at something else. And the only person that has their eyes open is this magician. Even this chick in the Nine of, she's paying more attention to her grapes in her yard. Now, grapes are a symbol of abundance, but also grapes speak about the length of time and the conditions in which, I don't know if you know, it takes a lot to grow grapes. The climate has to be right, the soil has to be right, and they take a long time. And the vines, they climb up. So that's why you'll see grapes supported on something. So this is, you know, this is someone who is either so focused on the gains that they have gone through at the time. Okay, sometimes I can see this card to say that people act like they don't need anybody else. Okay, I'm trying to give you as much information as I can out of this reading because the cards are really speaking to me today. Now let's look at this Magician card. Now remember, he rules Mercury, and Mercury just went into Aquarius yesterday. And the Magician card is a 1, and all ones, as well with this 10, it turns in the numerology 1 plus 0 equals 1. So that's why I tell you a 10 is a transition. It's trying to move into new energy. The magician is a 1, so all aces are represented with the power of the magician, because the magician can really create reality with his own mind, but he can also trick people. And that's why he's got the cup, the sword, the wand, and the pentacle on his table. He can do magic. And sometimes I have seen this where people may be trying to dabble in the magic world or dabble in energy manipulation. And a lot of times this can say, you know, that you really don't understand what you're doing. So if you've been doing that and you're not, you know, been doing it for years, you don't know exactly what you're doing, I would try to stop, particularly around this time of the eclipse, because what happens is when events occur around the eclipse, that shit's usually a done deal. And you don't get an opportunity to go back and fix it, if ever, until either 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year out. So it's really about the karmic choice. What choices you're going to be making can affect you across this eclipse for years to come. You may not even know. It could be something that's going to come back and bite you in the butt. So if you're doing something and you ain't skilled in what it is that you're doing and trying to manipulate energies, manipulate people, you know, I'm not going to tell you to stop. I'm going to tell you to be very cognizant of whatever the consequences may be. It kind of that, you know, be careful what you wish for kind of energy. You adult, you grown, you can do whatever the hell you want. Now, the 3 cards, Allegrezza al Cuore. This is someone who's trying to make or create something that they feel or think. Remember, the magician, as above, so below. Who's trying to create either an environment or a situation which really gives them happiness of the heart. But we can see that shit, this is another Tower card. That's like the Tower. That's the house on fire. This is a very, very misfortunate event. But guess what? It's designed to help you. This is the Donna de Servizio. She's a helper, and she's always positive. So again, if some of you have been having people cast spells on folks to love you, you can't make anybody love you. They either do or they don't. Hell, love yourself first. Be careful what you wish for. And for some of you, if that's what's been happening, or you've been trying to bring about some kind of magical change in your life, and you've been dabbling in stuff that you should not be dabbling in, or having other people dabble in it for you, you have to be careful who you go to help you. You really do. And just because somebody can promise you something doesn't mean that it's going to work out for you. Okay? So you want to be very, very cautious with that. Let's look at this Devil. No, I want to look at the Seven of Swords. Jesus, ain't that something? Lies and deception and hidden things. Arrogance, vanity, and hubris. La Namica, the confidant, the relationship of trust. Well, that tells you that somebody is thinking for themselves, and that this relationship of trust is not what you think it is. Speranza, that's the hope. But this card can also read fear. So maybe some of you already know that you have a rival or an enemy or a foe. Well, then what the cards are telling you is to be cautious around this time. But this could also even be about you yourself. Again, being your own worst enemy. And if you are picking up any hunches, if your spidey senses are telling you that something's not right with the situation or something's not right with the person, pay attention to that and see what happens after the eclipse. Okay? As I say, I think some of you have already gotten an indication, some kind of message that may have seemed insignificant at the time. And for some of you, this could go all the way back to either that eclipse in the last eclipse in September. Okay? And eclipses always come in twos. Okay? They happen. It's 4 eclipses spread out over 3 months. Okay? And they fall in a 2-week time period of each other. And they fall around the moons. Why the moons? Because the nodes of the moon, as a matter of fact, the nodes of the moon will be moving. The nodes are simply a mathematical point. It's not a planet. It's not a thing. It's a mathematical point. And the nodes of the moon are related to karma. So the true node is going to be shifting into Aquarius here, I think a few days in between the eclipses that we have. And then by May, the nodes will shift completely. And then we will be really in the Aquarius-Leo axis. Okay? Somewhere on the site, I have, I think, a post about the balances between the oppositions between the different Aquarius, Leo, Virgo, Pisces, Capricorn, Cancer. If I don't, I'll go back and I'll try to get that up this weekend. You can subscribe to the website for free so that you can get notified of that. The Death card. Again, there's going to be some kind of change and a transformation. Again, for some of you, what you think is over is not over. What you thought was dead is not dead. Okay? And whatever this thing is, it's either going to allow you to move out of a particular energetic box that you perhaps have felt in, and to move into another. For some of you, this is going to be about an ending for something. Well, that's how you're going to get out of it. For others of you, it's going to be like a redo. The casa, the gran consolazione, and the pensiero. Now, again, this casa to me looks like a bank. So whatever your idea, this house, whatever your idea of security is for you, okay? But this could also, in a sense, I would expect the denari card to come out if it was really about money. But, you know, there's value in property, okay? Then I have the gran consolazione, which is success achieved after a long time. And then I have the pensiero, someone thinking. With the death card, this is either an end to something someone has felt was successful in some way, or it's going to be a beginning. But whatever you think is dead, it is not dead. Why? The Seven of Swords says so. Now, I'm going to stop there, and what I'm going to do is pull an angel answer card. Isn't that something? Well, Muja Tarot, thank you so much for that message today. I was kind of like, oh, they're going to wimp out on me. But they are not. For some of you, even though there are no cups here, it kind of reads like some type of partnership in some way, shape, or form. And there are many different ways to have partnership, be in partnership, business, romantic, personal, familial, and the greatest relationship ever, the one that you have with yourself. So, and maybe for some of you, this is what the eclipses are here to do, is to bring you to a better awareness of the relationship that you have with yourself. Okay? Now, one angel answer card. Please formulate your question in your mind. Perhaps you will get the answer, some advice, or some solace and comfort if that's what you need. All right. Here we go. And what is death if it's not an opportunity? Because even after in the physical world, when our bodies die and our energetic souls, our energetic cords released, there's an opportunity for us to decide, even at that level, what it is we choose to do. Do we want to come back and be advocates and teachers and guides to other people? Do we decide we want to hang around wherever it is that we go, so that we can learn a bit more before we decide to come back? And that depends on if you believe in reincarnation. Not everybody does, and that's okay. Want to know what's under the bottom? Well, there you have it. I hope this message helped. For those of you who are interested or may be interested in purchasing a reading from me, you can click on the I in the right-hand corner. That'll take you directly over to the website. I do readings 6 days a week. I do ask before you submit payment or that you submit a booking form that you please read the tab that says important information on reading, because this is going to explain a lot to you, what information I need from you, how I need that information from you, how I conduct the readings. For those of you who are interested in video reading, personal video readings, there's a tab for that, and that has all of that information on there. So until next time we meet, namaste.